Hey YouTube, Maestro here from Bendu Lightsaber Combat. Today we're going to be talking about the Knight's level of Makashi and the concept of the sequence of contention. In Makashi, we have what's called a sequence of contention. All contests, all actions or plays in lightsaber to lightsaber combat can be described using the sequence of contention. And they should be thought of as phases in a fluid flow. Different sections of a fluid flow. Sometimes they're not very clearly delineated. It's not like 1, 2, 3 cadence. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It can be mixed and matched there. It just depends on the interplay between any two particular people. But they always are the same. We begin with the approach. The approach refers to that moment in combat where the two combatants are gaining distance on one another to the point where they can begin to actually interact with each other. If they're too far away, obviously we have a limit in reach. The lightsaber is not a gun. You can't hit someone from very far away unless you throw it, which is not always the best technique to accomplish. But the approach refers to how you literally approach the action of the play. The stance that you take, the attitude you have coming in. Are you coming in slow and steady, fast and aggressive? Are you coming in defensively and careful? Are you, how are you moving? In which direction? Who's really pushing for that next step, which is the actual coming together of the two combatants, which we call the convergence. The convergence is that coming together, the end of the approach and the beginning of the actual blade-to-blade or blade-to-body contact that we have in any given fight or contest. How you converge with your opponent will guide the rest of the actions. The most important steps in the sequence of conversion or the convergence in the sequence of contention are the first two, the approach and the convergence. If you have a sloppy approach, take the wrong tactic, anything like that, it can set you way back with the rest of the sequence. All right, but the third we call the gain. What this means is to gain either the appropriate distance for the technique that you're wanting to employ. It can also refer to gaining the opponent's blade if you're actually trying to gain the blade or touch or take advantage or take control of the opponent's weapon. So we have the approach, we have the convergence, and then we have the gain. The gain is determined by the approach and the convergence. You cannot have approach A, convergence A, and then gain B. It doesn't work that way. You can't do one thing. You can't get pears from an apple tree, basically. But the approach and the convergence, as I said, are the most important aspects of this before you actually engage in the opponent. It's everything leading up to it, and then the actual gain it flows from that. And again, flowing from the first two, and then the third, we have the fourth, which is the strike. This is not to say that you're necessarily striking, but the actual technique that you're trying to employ. It could be a disarm, it could be a grapple, it could be a trip, a sweep of the leg, it could be anything. It could be an actual strike, whether to disarm or to kill or however you're wanting to do it. The strike flows from the first two and the third sequences in the sequence of contention. And then, of course, we have the resolution. The resolution refers to after the opponents have approached, they've converged with each other, there's been a gain of some kind, some form of action, the strike, and then how does that end? How does that resolve? What is the resolution on that? Is one person dead? Are they both alive and disengaging from each other? Are they continuing the action? Did someone get put in a lock? Did someone get disarmed? It can go a lot of different ways. But these are the sequences of contention that you'll see in every single exchange in all lightsaber combat. It doesn't matter what system you use, what style you use. they're all going to be the same. And that's what Makashi is all about. The sequence of contention, studying combat between two opposing lightsaber wielders. That's what Makashi is all about, and this is integral to your understanding of how to apply yourself in combat. If you don't have knowledge, there has to be ignorance there, and ignorance will get you killed in any fight.